This, of course, is the culmination of a long journey which started more than 2 years ago, and it involved several electoral processes, such as the conduct of the national delimitation exercise, mobile voter registration and education exercises, the nomination processes, and the litigation processes that followed it, the printing and the distribution of ballot papers. A logistical nightmare it was, but it was overcome. Ladies and gentlemen, throughout these endeavors, the Commission's torchlight was the law. The torchlight was the law. The Commission was also guided by its mission and vision, as well as its 6 core values, which I will repeat for purposes of emphasis. And these are transparency, impartiality, independence, inclusivity, integrity, and of course, teamwork. This journey was not easy, as it had its own set of challenges, but as all of you probably know, every successful outcome comes from sweat and toil. The challenges were not insurmountable, as evidenced today. We prevailed. Ladies and gentlemen, local authority and National Assembly election winners were announced at wards and constituent collation centers in terms of the country's laws. Their names were pasted at convenient places for the public to see. As some of you have witnessed today, the Commission invited all 11 presidential candidates and their chief elections agents to witness the collation of presidential elections results from all corners of the country. If this is not a demonstration of transparency, then I probably do not know the definition of this word. As I've always said, the Commission has nothing to hide in the execution of its duties, and it is not subject to the control of anyone as outlined in the country's constitution. It's very important to note that we are an independent commission. In this regard, the Commission would like to express its gratitude to the people of Zimbabwe for conducting themselves peacefully before and during the elections period. And it is the Commission's fervent hope and wish and prayer for peace and tranquility to prevail after the announcement of the results and forever thereafter. I wish all foreign observers a pleasant journey back to their respective countries, and hopefully they will be our guests again at future elections. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my singular honor and pleasure to call upon the chairperson of the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, Justice Priscilla Makanyara-Chigumba, to take up the task of announcing and declaring the winner of the 2023 presidential elections. Justice Chigumba. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Chairperson, Ambassador Kiwa. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Kindly allow me to ride on existing protocol in the interest of time. This is the declaration of results of the 2023 presidential election, whereas it is provided by Section 110, subsection 2 of the Electoral Act, Chapter 213, that where 2 or more candidates for the president are validly nominated, a poll shall be taken in each constituency for the election of a president. And whereas on the 21st of June 2023, 11 candidates were nominated, namely Busha Joseph Makamba, Free Zim Congress, Chamisa Nelson, CCC, Chikuhora Trust Tapiwa, ZCPD, Kasia Muru Blessing, ZIPP, Maduku, Love More, NCA, Mnangagwa, Emerson, Dambudzo, ZANU-PF, Mbaiwa, Wilbert, Archibald, NPC, Muzorewa, Gwinyai, Henry, the UANC, Monzora, Douglas, Togarase, MDC, Valerio, Elizabeth, UZA, Wilson, Harry, Peter, DOP. These candidates were nominated for election to the office of President. And whereas a presidential election was conducted on 23 August 2023, and whereas the Chief Elections Officer has, in terms of Section 110, subsection 3, ascertained the results of the presidential poll, and whereas the following votes have been received by each candidate in respect of each province. Busha Joseph Makamba, Free Zim Congress, 18,816 votes, which constitutes 0.4% of the vote. Chamisa Nelson, CCC, 1,967,343, which constitutes 44% of the vote. Chikohora Trust Tapiwa, ZCPD, 10,230, which constitutes 0.2% of the vote. Kasia Muru Blessing, ZIPP, 13,060, constituting 0.3% of the vote. Maduku Lovemore, NCA, 5,323, constituting 0.1% of the vote. Mnangagwa Emerson Dambudzo, ZANU-PF, 2,350,711, constituting 52.6% of the vote. Mbaiwa Wilbert Archibald, NPC, 53,517, constituting 1.2% of the vote. Muzorewa Gwinri, the UANC, 7,053, constituting 0.2% of the vote. Monzora Douglas Togarase, MDCT, 28,883, constituting 0.6% of the vote. Valerio Elizabeth Isabel, UZA, 6,989, constituting 0.2% of the vote. Wilson Harry Peter, DOP, 6,743, constituting 0.2% of the vote. The total votes cast were 4,561,221. Total valid votes cast were 4,468,668. Total votes rejected, 92,553. Our total voter population was 6,623,511. The voter turnout was 68.9%. Now, therefore, I, Priscilla Makanyara Chigumba, the chairperson of the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, in terms of Section 110, subsection 3, do hereby declare that Mnangagwa Emerson Dambudzo of ZANU-PF Party has received 2,350,711 votes out of 4,468,730 valid votes cast, which are more than half the number of valid votes cast in the presidential election. Therefore, Mnangagwa Emerson Dambudzo of ZANU-PF Party is declared duly elected President of the Republic of Zimbabwe with effect from 26 August 2023.
Thank you very much. That brings us to the end of our program. Thank you.